What steps can I take to prepare to buy a house when I graduate?
Oh, good question. So the first thing that we'll need to do is once you turn 18, we need to get credit for you. So one of the most important things when it comes to buying a house is credit. So you need to have a good credit score. Now, you can buy a house without a credit score, but it's going to be a harder process. It's going to be what's called a manual underwrite. It'll come with a higher interest rate. It'll come with more restrictions, right? So the first thing we want to do is get you a credit score. So how I would do this for my child turning 18 is I would add them to some of my credit cards to give them the credit history. Start building up their credit through my credit history and then have them go out and get a couple of their own. It's important that you do both steps because you can't just have them on your credit and they get a credit score, because as the lender will see that those are just the other person's credit cards. We need them to get a couple of their own. Then we need to teach them how to be responsible and not overcharge and that, hey, this has to be paid back. Because I think sometimes even adults, we forget that when we borrow, it has to be paid back. So the first thing we will do is we'll get you a good credit score.
Okay. What about my down payment?
Good question as well. So there are different programs out there where you may not need a down payment. There are grant programs. There are programs that are as little as 1% down. Also, I could gift the funds to you. So if you get those grades up, then maybe we can have a little bonus here. But a parent or a family member or an employer, a church, there's so many different qualifications that will allow gift funds for the down payment. The other thing that you can do is, like, I own a rental property. So I could basically give her that rental property, have her finance it on her own, and I could do what's called a gift of equity. So the house already has equity in it. I could gift her that equity as her down payment, and then she could basically take over that house. So there's a lot of different options for down payment. You can do a low down payment, you can do a gift, you can do a grant, you can do a gift of equity, or you start saving, which is going to be a little bit hard when she turns 18 to have her own money saved up to have a large down payment. So that's really her goal. It hasn't worked yet. She's only 15. That's going to be a little bit harder. So we'll find some other creative options for her.
Okay, my next question is, how am I able to qualify for a home loan when I have a new job?
Good question. So again, if her goal is to try to buy a house as soon as she graduates high school and wants to move from my house to her own house, she's not going to have a lot of job history. So it's really important that she has the right type of job that will qualify her to qualify for a home loan. Number one, she obviously has to make enough. Number two, it needs to be something that's W-2, like a salary. It cannot be something that has variable hours or like tip income, because you have to have a 2-year history. Now, to have a 2-year history, we'll use her high school as part of her history, then her new job. So that job itself, if it does qualify income-wise, that 2-year history is sufficient with her being in high school. The other thing is I could co-sign for you. So as her parent, I could be her co-signer. She could still take advantage of lower down payments. She wouldn't be able to take advantage of any grant programs though if I co-signed, but I could co-sign for her and they would go off of my income and my credit as well as her credit, and then that could help her get into a home without having, some big career because she's young and doesn't have that yet.
How will I be able to afford the payments on my home?
That's a good question too. So that'll depend on what job you have at the time. And we want to make sure that you have payment comfortability. It's really, really important that you're comfortable with your payment. But when you're young, you're in college, you're working, how can we still make it make sense where you can achieve the dream of homeownership as early as possible and get in as early as possible? So a few different things that you can do that, people your age will do is I'll get roommates. You can rent out different rooms, especially if it's close to like college or something like that. You can rent out different rooms for, a flat price or whatnot. You can also look at multi-unit homes where it's like a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex. Maybe you live on one side and then other people live on the other sides and they're now paying you rent. That would cover your payment. So there's different options to still make it affordable.
Okay.